What is the #1 thing that kills vehicles? The answer might shock you, and it ain't wrapping it around a tree, blasting Skinnerd, and being drunk out of your mind. When you live in a Rust Belt river town, it's not uncommon to see abandoned trucks sitting in the woods or in the middle of a field somewhere, never to be driven again. It's also not uncommon to see a bunch of denim-wearing drunk degenerates. Rust is the #1 death sentence for vehicles, right in front of poor maintenance. You might have answered, maybe it's just having a golden bow tie in your vehicle that makes it a death sentence. You can maintain your truck to the books and drive it a million miles, but if you don't do something about the rust, it's gonna start creating more maintenance issues for you, or it'll convert itself to a swayback edition when you bottom it out driving home drunk from the bar. Having a rusty truck is like having a failing marriage, and if you're my ex-wife, that day. Today, I'm gonna try what many people have attempted to do and failed. I'm gonna knock every speck of rust off my truck so it can live to drive drunk another day. This is the story on how reject #1 began. In this video, I'm gonna make this truck frame go from this to this. Rivertown, welcome back to another episode of Drunk Man in Garage Fixes Cars. Today's the day. This has been a long time coming, and I'm gonna finally eliminate all the rust on this truck. I'll show you all the tools and everything I use to do this, but I'm not really gonna tell you because I'm not a teaching man. I'm just a riverman and I'm more of a hack and a drunk than anything else. This is not an automotive tutorial. Do not follow anything I do because you might end up hurt, drunk, doing it wrong, or stupid. I'm not liable. So I got a confession to make. I actually already started on this project a little while ago, but that was before the Riverman had the foresight to create a YouTube channel and the skills necessary to make videos to do it. If you're disappointed in me, just leave a comment on how I'm a failure, just like my dad would. Now, before we go all oh my Wamushin diver on this truck frame, we're gonna need to go over some tooling to get the job done. Now, these are all tools you're gonna see me use to knock off all this rust. Where I got them? Conveniently, I got most of these tools from old Riverman Hank. Now, let me tell you about a rambling man named Riverman Hank. A riverman like me can't afford all these Donald Trump high-dollar tools, but Riverman Hank has collected enough scrap metal and figured out a way to do it. He probably watches this channel and realizes that I have all his tools. But honestly, Riverman Hank is the unsung hero of this project and this channel. He is the biggest motivator for me getting this done before he collects all his tools. Hopefully, if I yank Hank's pud the right way and call him Sweetie, he might make a cameo in the next video. Who knows? First up, we got Riverman Hank's old angle grinder. A flat disc or a wire wheel is going to do you real good at knocking all that first initial rust off. Then not necessary, but definitely helpful is the old air hammer. This thing is real good for knocking all that hard packed on crap. And for the stuff you can't get with the air hammer, you got the old Harbor Freight needle descaler. This thing is like 15 bucks and it works like a champ. Another tool I recommend is Riverman Hank's old die grinder. It's got this neat little head on it. It's going to make getting in them tight places real easy. And obviously, you're going to need yourself a breeze accumulator to start powering some of them air tools. This one's name is Kurt, and he really isn't worth a shit. I'll get to that in a minute. It needs no introduction, but this is the Eastwood SCT, Surface Contour Tool. It's exactly what it looks like. It is an angle grinder with a wire drum on it. You can put flat discs, sanders, anything on it, and this stuff just tears through the rust. You'll be able to see this thing in action when I tackle some of the fresh rust that I hadn't already gotten to in the next video. Now you might be asking me, Riverman, why are you buying all these expensive tools? Why don't you just use a sandblaster or something? I did. See this big John Deere green monstrosity? It looks like a pressure cooker. Well, this is actually a sandblaster that I built here in the Reject Garage. I fully intended to use this sandblaster to knock all the rust off. Then I realized Kurt the air compressor quite don't have the guts to power this monstrosity. So instead of shelling out $2 grand on a big air compressor just to power this thing, I decided to go the cheaper alternative. Now with that out of the way, I'm gonna go ahead and throw you into a time lapse. And when we get back, we're gonna put some paint right onto this frame. Let's get flat after it. I almost forgot to chug a beer this episode. All right, bone apple teeth. Oh. Oh yeah! I'm ready to go, baby! Woo! after a few beers and a few breaks, got the dog back out here to see what was going on. Making a lot of racket, but I think I got all the scale about knocked off on the rear end. I was gonna do the front side, but that's a whole nother project. But I think the rear end's looking pretty good. Now I'm gonna go ahead and do the prep work off camera and then come back and I'll do a little bit of the painting. And then hopefully after this, all this rust is about gonna be gone. And to paint the frame, I decided on getting the Pour 15 Rust Preventative Kit. I've never used this stuff, but I've heard it works pretty good. Hi, I'm Dr. Riverman from the Reject Home for Shitbox Trucks. I want to come to talk to you today about a very serious topic. Do you know someone that owns a shitbox truck that's sitting in a field or fallen into disrepair? I know I do. Mr. Riverman, thank you for calling me and letting me come into your home. I realize there's something you'd like to tell me. Yeah, I guess I got somewhat of a confession to make. I hadn't been too easy on my old truck. Between the burnouts, the hard starts, the stumping, and all the other stuff I put it through, I didn't realize what it was going through until one day it just didn't start. Then I went and looked underneath and the rust. Oh, the rust. I'd gotten so caught up with buying denim and drinking beer, I forgot what was important to me. And Doc, I called you because you just want to make this wrong right. Due to the conditions of the rust belt and owner negligence, we're losing more of these trucks every day. That's why us here at the Reject House for Shitbox Trucks, we're trying to change this and bring these trucks back on the road and restore them to their former glory. For just subscriptions a day, you can help people like Riverman here restore their trucks and make their wrongs right. Can't afford to lose any more trucks to rust. Give us a call today. Thank you. It's the next day, rejects, and I'm back at it once again. And let me be honest with you, I tied one on last night. I mean, the garage, it's just a mess. I got the worst hangover of my life. Finished up all the 12 valvers. That one's been pitched with a bunch of crap in there from the paint. At some point in the night, I picked up a case of PBRs. Those are gone. Then, I guess we got out in some more beers. Oh, I picked up a case of Busch at some point and finished about half of that, and then I don't know where those came from, but they're there as well. Ain't bad for a Sunday night, huh? With that being said, the price of drinking was well spent because this Pour 15 paint job, man, this stuff hardened into armor. I don't think any rust is gonna get through this stuff now that I got it on. Another price I had to pay is my hands are now permanently painted black, but still, look how awesome this looks. And that, rejects, is how you restore a truck frame. Now, the next episode, I was just gonna knock out the brakes and the fuel lines, but I ran into a problem. I ran into a big problem. So the next episode, I'm gonna be taking my cab off. This has been Rivertown Rejects. Riverman is gonna go take a nap.